we are in the midst of Cutville, where people are getting cut, trying to free up salary cap space, even though it just went up with the approaching of free agency, where there's going to be some big names that are available, some game-changing players that will be available in free agency. Xavier Howard just got cut from the Dolphins. Another linebacker just got cut from the Dolphins. I mean, the Dolphins are making moves right now. Now, the Detroit Lions, we don't have a ton of people that we could cut. John Kaminsky is a name that keeps coming up, but I don't see how we would do that, seeing as how he embodies exactly who we are. So it would be a surprise if Dan Campbell says no amount of talent is going to get you on this team. If Brad Holmes says that not everyone can play for the Detroit Lions, and we cut a guy who is both of those, everything we want him to be in the second year of his deal. I mean, he only has 1 year left on his deal, right? And we have things that we have depth that we need. So that would be a surprising move if we cut John Kaminsky. But there's not a ton of players who can be cut. We just cut Tracy Walker. We have some restructures that could happen, but not a ton of players that could be cut. As far as our free agents are concerned, Michael Badgley is back. We still got 19, I believe, that have to be brought back, right? Or not. So Julian is already gone. Romeo is not going to be back. Charles Harris is not going to be back. So we haven't heard anything outside of Badgley being re-signed for 1 year. So my question to you Detroit Lions fans is, as we approach this free agency period, what is it that you want Brad Holmes and the Detroit Lions to do? You know what I want them to do. Xavier Howard is not a guy, he's not even worth me making a video about, because I feel like that's until Brad Holmes shows me otherwise, that's exactly the type of guy he would go after. These bargain basement, cheap deals. We need talent on this team. And I don't know if he's more talented than Jerry Jacobs right now in his career. He might be. I don't know if he's, I mean, at this point, Brad Holmes could bring back Emmanuel Mosley. Like 2 ACL tears in 2 years, and that's a guy, he likes to draft injured players. He likes to bring injured players in free agency. So if he's injured, or if you are a kind of I'm not gonna use the word washed up, but if you are one of those guys, you have grit, right? If you have grit, you will be on this team. So I want you to put in the comment section, what's a player that you would want the Detroit Lions to stay far away from, but you could see him coming here because of the grit mantra. So my question to you is, who would you want the Detroit Lions to bring in? What do you want to see done as we approach free agency? You guys know what I want. Pass rush, pass rush, pass rush with a sprinkle of secondary. It doesn't matter how he gets it done. For me, I would love a Danielle Hunter, but I know Danielle Hunter is only one guy, okay? Now, he didn't get hurt last year, but that could happen this year. So if you put all your eggs in one basket, such as a Danielle Hunter, a Brian Burns, a Josh Allen, and that person gets hurt for any amount of time, you've invested a lot of money and a lot of capital into that one person. But you could also get more people. So you could get 3 for the price of 1. We have a lot of holes to fill. We really do. We're going to lose. We've already lost 1 pass rusher. We're going to lose 2 more. They're already officially not off our team, but they're not under contract. So we need to replace those guys. Now, there are going to be some guys like we talked about DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins was a guy that was cut last year. So there will be a lot of guys on the chopping block that will be cut. DeAndre Hopkins was a guy that was cut. We heard rumors that he might be cut, and the Arizona Cardinals took a giant cap hit and cut him. He was picked up by the Tennessee Titans for a 2-year deal. That type of stuff is going to happen this year. And I'm not going to be mad if Brad Holmes can kind of be there to catch the scraps. I just want to know that he is. Right now, I would have to say my number 1 target would be if somebody was cut was Khalil Mack. You got to understand, trading for Khalil Mack is different. Signing Khalil Mack in free agency, if he was 2 or 3 years ago, that's something different as well. But if Khalil Mack is cut, we did not get DeAndre Hopkins last year, and we should have. We really should have. Dude balled out, was a huge factor in the Tennessee Titans. Khalil Mack would be that guy. It's like the one guy that I've got my eye on. It's another one, but I don't want to spoil that video. That one is going to come. So but Brad, that's what Brad likes to do. Brad is, y'all think like I'm not making fun of Brad. I'm just telling you what he likes to do. He is Mr. Allen's. He is 29, 2 for 50. He is the Dollar General. He is Five Below. That's what he is, right? He's never signed a 4-year deal. The highest person that he's paid is Cam Sutton. And I would argue, I want you to put this in the comment section as well. When Cam Sutton was signed, did you think he was worth $33 million? Right now, do you think he's worth $30 million? If you could do it over, would you have brought in Emmanuel Mosley? CJ Gardner-Johnson was the one we were all excited about, and David Montgomery. Then he gets hurt, and now you guys want to get rid of him because he bumped Deebo Samuel, right? So Brad Holmes, and that's why I keep talking about a defining year for Brad Holmes. This is we know who Dan Campbell is. We know who Dan Campbell is. He is Mr. Go Forward. That is what he's going to be. The one thing about Dan Campbell is his relationship with Aaron Glenn. When is that going to, if Aaron, is this it for Aaron Glenn? Can Dan Campbell let go of Aaron Glenn? That's the one thing. That's the only question mark I have for him. I know he's going to go for it. I know he's going to be aggressive. When it comes to Brad Holmes, I think that this is a defining year for Brad Holmes. Every draft pick is on the team. The impact of that player is up for discussion. There's a lot of first or early round talent. A lot of early round talent that has been less than productive. Levi Onwuzurike, second round pick, right? Josh Paschal, second round pick. There is some talent that he's missed on in the first round. in the early draft. I keep focusing on first round. So Brad Holmes is not flawless. He's not flawless, and he's got some work to do. And I have to believe, why am I so adamant on the pass rush? Because I believe that Brad Holmes, he saw the secondary and how it needed help, and he went out and attacked it. And I have to believe that he sees that same thing with the pass rush. And I have this feeling that he was a guy that he wanted a guy at the trade deadline on the defensive line that he couldn't get to. So it's a little quiet now, the Detroit Lions. Like I said, we don't have a ton of people to cut. We have 20 free agents, or one that's already gone and one that's been re-signed. So we have 18, if my math is correct, that we could consider bringing back. But it's quiet. We don't have a ton of people to cut. We have some people we could restructure, 3 or 4 people. But as far as cutting them, we really don't have guys that we can cut like that. So these overpriced, and I will say this, that is a plus to Brad Holmes. One thing I know that he's not going to do is blow the money. I am not worried about that one bit. I just want him to see the problem, attack the problem correctly. Because after 4 years, you can't keep drafting an injured Levi Onwuzurike. You can't keep drafting an injured Josh Paschal. You cannot keep doing that, right? So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Just kind of from the heart, from the dome, trying to figure out what you guys want to do as it's quiet in Detroit Lions camp. We got some more rumor videos and free agent stuff and potential salary cap casualties that we're going to talk about. But I just wanted to kind of get your opinion. What do you want? Because when we talk about Brad Holmes, we talk about the good, but we never talk about the bad. We don't talk. At least people don't want to talk about the misses and the bad. And here's my thing. I want y'all to remember this. Broderick Martin was pick number 96. The Detroit Lions gave up a 4th and 2/5 for Broderick Martin for a guy that potentially could have gone undrafted. Now, my thing is, could Broderick Martin be the next Deron Payne, the next Jeffrey Simmons? He could be. But what about those picks that he gave up last year? Could they have been something? Could they have been something for us last year? Could there have been a 4th round pass rusher? A lot of these free agents that are getting deals this year, some of them are 4th rounders. 4th round. I mean, look at St. Brown. He's a 4th rounder who's about to break the bank. He's about to get paid like he was a 1st overall pick. He earned that, right? So we could have used a guy. We could have used a guy that could have made an impact immediately. Ife Melifonwu, it took him 3 years, but 3rd rounder, right? So Derrick Brown is 4th rounder. So even James Houston, a 6th round pick that did more than Broderick Martin in year 1, right? So all year you didn't see any potential in Broderick Martin, right? So let me know. Let me know. You guys know how I feel. I would love to know how you feel in the comment section below. Memberships are active. They are active. You should see a link in my description. So I wanted to make sure I took my time and got them. They will be in the description of every video. Memberships are active. And also we are on the cusp of 20,000 where I'll finally be able to give the Lion away. So consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.